pay $2,000 a month for the Airbnb behind me, and it generates between $4,000 and $7,000, and I don't even own it. In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what Airbnb arbitrage is, how I got this place set up, and the lessons I've learned from when I got started to where I am now, so that way you don't have to go through those pains. I wish this video was made when I first got started. Let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, my name is Noah. I've posted hundreds of stays here in Austin, and I also have a boutique hotel that's under construction in Mexico right now that's nearing completion. I use this experience combined with what's actually working right now in Airbnb to give you guys these insights into the short-term rental world. You might be wondering how I got this listing, so let me share with you guys this story. This home is located in Austin where I live, and it was on the market for around 3 months before I approached the landlord, told them they need to redo the bathrooms, I would do the floors, and retouch the paint because it was a little dated, and they agreed to give me a couple months of free rent while these upgrades were in process, and then guarantee me 3 years at a certain price, so that way I would have it and be able to recoup my investment. At the end of the day, they'll have a nicer listing. I'm not gonna own it, they still will, and I'll be able to make the money from the sublease. And because of the relationship we have, I'm sure they're gonna run with me well into the future. So let me break down the real world numbers from what it took me to get from unlisted to listed in this home. So first of all, this place used to have dated brown cabinets, painted those a new color. Also the carpets, took out the carpets, replaced them with laminate flooring, which is not only easier to clean, but also it just looks better in general. Then the 2 bathrooms were around $5,000 each to rip them out, new tile, new fixture, new vanities. I also was able to negotiate 6 months of rent. It didn't take me 6 months to do, it took me around 2 months. But anyway, this was around $12,000. So all in all, I was in about $25,000 just to get this place up and running, which a look at the vacancy rates and all my expenses is gonna take me around 1 to 1.5 years to actually break even on. But for me, this is worth it. I'm gonna have around 1.5 years that's guaranteed of profit on top of this. And then at the end of the day, I'm sure this landlord is going to help me just keep listing this property into the future because I've been on top of my rent and he sees the place looks better than it ever has. One of the most common questions that I get, and I had to learn the hard way, was how exactly do you get landlords to say yes to you versus a long-term tenant? Well, the thing is, you actually are that long-term tenant. You're going to also be willing to do some renovations, and then you're going to show how you're going to be the one to keep the place in pristine condition, because it's also in your best interest to get the most bookings possible. A lot of times people don't consistently clean, or they don't worry about damage they do to the walls, damage that happens they don't tell the landlord, and this is going to be a way that the landlord is going to go from completely skeptical and not willing to do it to actually being open-minded and maybe even saying yes. I know that air cover is the one Airbnb has, Vrbo has their own insurance, and then if you have a pool or something like that, I know you have to have a separate insurance to be on these platforms. So you show them all these coverages, you're willing to deal with these common objections that they do have, you'll drive the needle and then actually get your first arbitrage property. So what exactly is Airbnb arbitrage? This is put simply going to be when you sign a long-term lease with a landlord that grants you the ability to list the spot on a short-term rental platform like Airbnb or Vrbo. A lot of these landlords are open to this if their place has been vacant for a while, and they'll even grant you allowances, let's say 6 months of free rent if you're willing to upgrade the spot. This is going to be, let's say you demo the bathrooms, at the end of the day they're going to be left with a spot that has very renovated bathrooms, and then you as the host on Airbnb are going to be able to provide a better listing in the end. This method is very popular. Let's say if you don't have the capital to actually build or buy a spot, this is the best method to just get in the door if you just have a couple months and a little bit of money for renovations in your budget. The last big thing I want to touch on in this video is it still worth it to do Airbnb arbitrage in 2026? The short answer in my opinion is going to be yes. This is going to be the least profitable compared to actually buying the place or building the place from scratch, but however, it remains the least risky and least capital intensive method to actually get started in the short-term rental world, is that's what you're looking for. But you got to keep in mind the big thing in real estate always has and always will continue to be is location. Make sure the deal is in the right location and you get the right terms. That way you're not going to be underwater very fast. So to summarize this video, we went over that Airbnb arbitrage is going to be the least risky, least capital intensive way to get started in Airbnb when you get the landlord to lease you the place for less than you make on Airbnb, how I got this place in Austin listed, along with the lessons I learned along the way and what the STR market right now in regards to arbitrage is doing in 2026. If you guys like seeing content like this, everything to do with the STR world, I appreciate you subscribing. See you next time. Thanks for watching.